So welcome to Chemistry Lover, and yesterday I uploaded one video regarding whether you should choose PhD or B.Ed, and in that video I clearly mentioned that if you are passionate about research, you should definitely go for it. But if you are finding a government job, then you can think of doing B.Ed once before PhD, because after 2 years of spending in B.Ed you can do PhD, there is no problem. Now in that video I got one comment, and that this is a reply to that comment in one sense, and another thing is I will actually give you a survey of what is the condition of PhD, especially in chemistry in India now. Okay, so first of all let me show you the comment. So in the comment he is saying that I think this is absolutely an useless question, that whether we should choose for PhD or B.Ed, and he's also saying that who have a plan to do PhD in his or her mind, he will never ever think of doing B.Ed. Okay, if he's passionate enough, this is true, but sometimes what happens, we qualify NET easily, we get a decent rank, but in our deep mind we are not ready to do PhD because we are not passionate about research, we just want a degree. So this is one thing. He also saying that B.Ed is nothing but a planned waste of time, and sometime your subject interest and your passion all will be just ruined if you are planning to do B.Ed. I don't believe that. If you love a particular subject, that love will always go, right? By doing 2 years of B.Ed, it will not go up. Many people do that. They do 2 years of B.Ed and then they enroll themselves to PhD. So this point is absolutely baseless. Then he is saying that it is very unfortunate that a student with exceptional education from best institutes in India is saying about me being 4th in All India NET exam. So it is not 14th. So he wrote it is 14th, but it is not 14th, it is 17th. Talking about B.Ed, rather I would say comparing PhD with B.Ed. So it is he is saying that it is unfortunate that I am saying doing B.Ed is a good option. He tries to say that I shouldn't talk like that, because I had for 17th rank in CSI NET exam, and also I did studies from IIT, Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, all these things. But wait friend, I will show you some survey, and then I think you will change your mind. Okay, so there was an article by T. Pradeep. Okay, T. Pradeep, he's a scientist from IIT Madras. He's a very old scientist. I mean, he's a senior scientist, right? So he had a article on 19th September 2018, right? And the title of the article is "How far does a PhD go?" You can see this is the okay. So here it may show the mirror, but I will put the link of the article in the description. So it is saying how far does a PhD go. Now from this all this article, I find out some of the points. Okay, I will present it to you. So first of all, so there is a record of how much PhD comes per year in India from different institutes, and what is the employment, right? So it is saying that from IIT Madras around 25 PhD comes out each year, and if we take all the IITs, it is around 150 per year. The old IITs, from the old IITs. Now we don't consider the new 11 IITs, remember that. Only from the old IITs, 150 research scholar, they graduate from IIT with their PhD degree, 150 from old IITs. Then if we consider if we consider another new 11 IITs, then it will be around 100 more each year. So it is overall 250 from IITs only. Then from NITs around 150, from IISc 25, from ISAR 60, from CSIR and DAE Institute, Department of Atomic Energy, it is around 100, and from other renowned universities like Jadavpur, Calcutta, all these things, 250 more. So overall it is around 800 PhD students, they qualify PhD each year from all these institutes. Okay, so 800 each year. Now let us look into the employment. So if we talk about recruitment in IITs and IISc, they recruit around 25, only 25 faculties each year, all the IITs and IISc combined. And in the old IITs, the vacancies are fulfilled, so it is saturated. So in only new IITs and IISc, they recruit around 25 each year, only 25. Then in CSIR institutes, DAE and NITs, around 50 more each year. So overall 75. So now if we leave CSIR, DAE and NITs, now if we consider ISER and universities, then central universities, they will give around 100 per year recruitment. So overall it is 200. It is 175, but I am considering 200. So another 600 PhD students per year, they are left unemployed. Now what are their options? Their options are state university, college and private universities or companies. But one thing you have to remember, that in these state universities, colleges and private institute, they have their own PhD candidates. So we didn't consider them in that 800 PhD students who are graduated, right? So employment is quite difficult. So it is seen that in these state universities, colleges or whatever you can say, whenever one vacancy is announced, 300 application against one vacancy is received. If one vacancy is released, 300 application is received for that one vacancy. So you can see what is the situation, what is the unemployment situation of a PhD student in India. So this is very unfortunate. This is reality. I am not making this video to demotivate you from doing PhD. If you are interested in research, you will do that, whatever I tell, right? But what I am doing here is to showing you the reality, because many students in India, they think that if we do PhD, we will get a job very easily. This is not the case. Now if we talk about employment in the private sectors, the companies and all other sectors, then yes, there is employment, but again competition is also there. There is an overflow of the candidates, right? Now what happens is, in colleges, they will pay you, in private colleges or in government colleges, if you join as a part-time faculty, they will pay you 8,000 per month. 8,000 per month you are getting after doing PhD and postdoc. This is very sad. And in some cases 30,000 is there, but it is rare. And in few cases we can see that the faculties, the part-time faculties, they are given salaries based on their duty. I mean, if you do one class, you will get, let's say, 500 rupees. So per class basis they are paid. So this is very unfortunate. After doing such a tremendous research, publishing good work in international journals, and you are paid with class basis. So this is very unfortunate, but this is the reality. Now in this article, Mr. T. Pradeep sir, what he did is he suggested some solution to this problem. And what he suggested is, if you are a PhD student, besides doing PhD, you need to develop some other skills so that you can be employed, right? Because PhD, only doing PhD will not give you employment in India right now, especially in chemistry. If you are in mathematics, then the situation is still better, but in chemistry it is very difficult. Now what I did in the last video was that I suggested one of that skill. B.Ed is one of the skills which you can develop. If you do B.Ed, if you have a B.Ed degree, you can apply for the school teaching job. That's what I said in the video. I didn't make that video to demotivate you from PhD. Based on the real situation, I just gave you a solution. That's all. Now if you think that I am demotivating you, it is up to you. I am not here to demotivate you, right? So if you are interested in research, definitely go for PhD. I am not stopping you, but what I am doing here is I am presenting you the reality. Now, after knowing the reality, the decision is yours. Whatever you want, you can do. That's all. Thank you for watching. If you find this video helpful, share this video with your friends and don't forget to subscribe this channel.